So today, the final two verses for the slide part for Sister Morphine. If you haven't seen the original playthrough and guide to the first two verses, I will link them below. As well, the tab I put together and used in these videos, I'm going to upload to my website in the next day or so feel free to download that. And any questions, do feel free to get in touch. Otherwise, let's have a look at the tab. So as before, we're in open A for this. So E, A, E, A, C sharp, and E. As before, if you're on open G, a capo on the second fret will get you there if you push everything up by 2 frets. Okay, open A. So let's drop back in here. We're at bar 61 of the tab, which is verse 4, and we're going to be starting with a little figure on the lower strings. So this is basically open E, hammer on to 3 on the 6th string, then we're playing 3 on the 5th string, and then as we play that, I'm going to be coming back down with my first finger just to mute that out. One interesting feature here of open A, which I find quite cool, is the double octaves on the bottom 4 strings. So we've got the 5th degree down here, which in open A is going to be E, 2 E's, and then we have our root, which is the A on the 5th and 3rd. So we have the nice situation here. If we play a little lick like that, then we can easily, it's going to be the same thing up here by virtue of the tuning, right? So we have E, A, E, A, E, A, E, A. So that's the flat 3 there. Quite nice when you're just sort of framing open A to have that in mind here, the double octaves. And we're moving on to bar 63. So bar 63 we are at 3, basically sliding across 3, and we're going to be playing da da da, getting louder, sort of a and just playing that something like that. So you can either up, down, up, or we can play it now. As I'm doing that on bar 64, I'm going to be, you see here, I'm resting my thumb between the 6th and 5th string, and then resting my second finger basically over everything else. So it just means I can really dig in with this 4th string, as I'm doing like a lot through this track. So without anything else getting in the way, because I've really got to still drive things through with this quite massive vibrato here. So so there we are. And the vocal comes in there. So this is coming into bar 65, Sweet Cousin Cocaine. This is the last verse, right, of actual singing. So from there we're going to 3 on the 1st string, which is going to be the 7th degree, 7th degree of the scale. So there's our root there, right? And I guess in the guitar, the acoustic guitar, we're sort of playing A-7 a lot, which is the G. So it's sort of a common note through this song. 7 there. So we're coming into, and as with the other licks, this one's actually slightly different to the ones in verse 2 and 3, you'll notice. And One way to sort of practice this in stages, if it doesn't quite sit under the fingers, I mean, a big part of this again is just this movement of the right hand, the muting. You can make it a little bit easier on yourself if you play the first and second finger, because they're just a bit more dexterous. But you know, third and fourth, if you want to go with the idea of sort of having a placeholder with the right hand, which I quite like the idea of, right? Then it's worth persevering with that in mind, and just sort of keep on training that second and awkward third finger as best you can. But in terms of doing that in stages, you would be just striking and then muting, and then the next stage would be landing on that one, which is a bit of a jump, and then stage 3 would be landing on 1, then sliding to 3. I mean, really useful thing to practice, you know, very foundational. And then the next one would be coming back there and landing back on the 3 of the first string. Righto. And then the end of that, we're bar, where are we? 65, isn't it? So we're going to be playing the 3rd fret on string 3 here, which again is the flat 3rd, which we just played at the start of verse 4. So, and we're going back to 5, our root on 5th here. So that's bar 65. Where are we? And takes us to bar 67. We are playing generous vibrato, and then so we're going 5, and then we're going to 3 on the second string, muting that out as we hit the 3rd on the first string, and then we're going to be sliding from 3 to 1 on the second. And that takes us to 68. Nice vibrato there. And then we're going back to 69, and we're playing that fantastic chord there. Sort of a down, up, down with a sort of a... And then I'm just going to simply play, because I've got my first finger on that first fret of the second string, so I'll just play it. I'm going to land on the slide here without hitting it too hard. That's 3 on the 3rd string, which is again is that flat 3, and then 5 sliding back to 3 on the 4th string. So which takes us through to 71. And then we're sliding up to 72 as the song moves into G. There you'll see the chord, which is 10th fret. So just in terms of a quick orientation for the fretboard for open A, we have, there's our root. So this is the G up on 10, right? And this is F, 8, and this is the E here. You may already know that, of course, but just in case. So this is sort of where we're going to be heading, right? So this is our G here. Again, we're at bar 72, bar, fret 10. And then we're going to be playing this riff again that came up in the last verse, which is, you'll remember that being last time in thirds, but now it's not, it's just playing the melody. 8 to 10 on the second, sliding from 10 to 8, back the same direction, and then we're going to be playing 6, and then sliding back up to F, introducing the 3rd string there, vibrato, And then bar 75, second beat, we're going to be playing. And then going back to our open third string. So just from 74 again, 6 to 8. I just think it's actually let me move down, and 76, here we are, yeah. And then we have this familiar. So you can see my right hand sort of still not exactly muting, but kind of muting. Without it would be, it's a bit harder. So, and then we're going to, you'll see F. So F we know is here. So no surprise, we're going back up to 8. And this is just the third and fourth string. Slide back in tune. So 7 is going to be our E. Now last time we went up here, just at the end of the last verse, you'll notice we didn't go back to the E, but this time we do. And then 2 beats in, we introduce. This is the G sharp, actually 7 on the second string. So there's our root there. So, and then, so that takes us through to, after some serious vibrato, it takes us into the next verse. Quick tune. It's a typhoon coming, so it's putting the guitar out. Okay, we're back. So this one here, verse 5, this is basically the outro. There's no singing here, and it's basically a groove in A minor. And I don't think there's too much use of sort of going into every strike and into the minutiae too much, but just generally these 3 basic parts, I think. So we have a quick look at that. The first one here, we're starting on bar 81, and it starts, I think, on the 4th and a half beat, sort of right at the end. So if we're counting it, we have this great chord here again. So 2, 3, 4, like that. 2, 3, 4. It's basically 5. And basically I'm using my right finger again. You can play it how you wish, but I'm basically playing down, up, down, up, down, in that sort of way. And then we're going to, which is 3 on the 4th string, 3 on the 3rd string, play that 3 times, and then we're going to, oh, look at the guitar, 5, and then we're going to play this pattern here, which is 3, 5, 7, 5, 3, which is open. So 3, 5, 7, 5, 3, open, and then back from 3 to 5 on the 4th string here. So to do that, probably best to have your thumb resting on the 6th and 5th string and the other fingers, just sort of so we don't make too much noise. It's one of the challenges with slide, I guess, sort of trying to play quietly. So and then we play a couple dun 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 dun. This is coming into the first part, what I would describe as the first part of this sort of outro, which is just this here double stop 3. This is on 3rd and 4th string. So back to same thing. So let's go from where are we? 85, right? So slowly. into the 3, the 2 3s. And so for 86 we have a nice little, it's a nice little lick actually. So 5, 3, and then the open. So we're basically playing, I mean you can play it with fingers if you want, but I mean the slide's here, right? So, or, but I found it easier to, so, and slowly. And then again, this is 87. And so yeah, you get the feeling. So this is basically the vibe is. Oh no, it's not. It's. That sort of, that's the groove there, and this is sort of the first part. I'll describe as the first part. So coming out there in bar 84, 5, 6, and then 7, what we just played, and then we're at bar 88. Whoops. And then we are 89 here. So this is where we play that same figure, which is. Then we just basically move into the second part that I describe as the second part if I just slide the page back up here. And this is this one here. So sliding up to 5 twice on the 4th string. Then 3, 5. Back to 3, and this is the 4th and 3rd string. So that's the second groove basically there. So it's that's the second part. It feels slightly different to the first, I think you'll agree. And so if we're at 91 there, this is 92, and then this next part here from 93, we have this, which I think is played about 6 times. I'm sort of sometimes add the octave in here with the thumb. It sounds quite good, I think. And then from there, we are. Oh, by the way, we're hammering on there. I'm just playing the string here, open 3rd string with the 2nd finger. Need a very light touch there just to play that hammer on there, and I'm angling the slide as well, if you can see that. Perhaps you can't, but it's a very nice thing to practice, and this is one of the things why I've enjoyed working through this solo. There's quite a few little sort of micro moments, you might say, where you sort of find these little gems that you can sort of take out and use. So that little hammer on there's one of them. And then from there we are going to sort of slightly out. I'm looking at the the screen, so excuse any intonation problems there. 94. So then we're coming out to that, and then basically from there we're basically looking towards the end, really, because we're. And then from 96, basically. Basically lots of fast sort of just those 2 notes there, right? 3rd and 4th, and then we have a. That's the sort of feeling So that's basically the third type of groove in this last outro. And then we go into this terrific little figure in the outro that I'm sure if Ry Cooder had found it earlier, he would have played it earlier because it's so good. And then we just sort of play there. And then we sort of, it fades out. So this is fading out. This is fading out territory. And we're basically done there. There's a lot to dig into here, guys. So I hope this was useful. I did get the tab as close as I could, and I do think it's pretty close. There's just a couple of little patches that I'm not 100% on it, but apart from that, I feel pretty confident that we got there. And you know, take it slowly. There's a lot really you can sort of get out and transfer a lot of these little licks. And I think I'm going to make a video just where I take some of these licks from these last sort of 3 or 4 or 5 Ry Cooder videos I've put together and sort of pull 4 or 5 of the licks that I think are most sort of transferable, and then actually put them into other pieces of music. And I think that will be sort of the next step of how to use some of this stuff, because I mean, we're trying to obviously study the masters to improve our own playing, right? It's not just about playing Sister Morphine. It's trying to learn how you know, these people were so good, you know. So I think that's sort of the next step, and I want to try and do that. So until then, have a great one, and I'll see you on the next video.